another Suhoor Bites. I am Fawzi Masmar, and today I'll be continuing the countdown of my favorite games of all time. And today is number 6, and it's Metal Gear Solid on the original PlayStation. Um, I'm a Kojima fan. I have to admit, I really like his games. They're very uniquely Kojima. He's an auteur, and you can see that in his games. And I think um, I find that very interesting. Like his games, even the ones that are not as fun, there's something unique about them, and there's something always interesting coming up. And I think that that applies to everything he did before and after Metal Gear. But for me, like Metal Gear Solid on original PlayStation is just the crown jewel. Um, I have to admit, like when I first Metal Gear Solid was the first Kojima game I played. I played all of his games since. Um, but going into this game in 1998, I really had no idea what to expect. Like the games of the era were like Resident Evil and those kinds of like action-packed games or survival horror games were like the things that are super popular. Like coming out of Resident Evil and Dino Crisis, and like there was Siphon Filter at the time. There's a bunch of games coming out, and I was like, maybe this is gonna be something within the same vein. I think what really makes Metal Gear stand out is the perfect combination of the anime like cinematic feel that the game had, the really complex and multi-layered story that just went through all sorts of crazy stuff happening around you, but you were like strapped in for the ride. From like lengthy cutscenes to long um, codec conversations, audio conversations only, in which you talk about sometimes you just talk about stuff, about Snake's love for canned food or stuff like that, and then that was like totally fine within the concept of the game. Characters reminiscing about things like that. These things were not really that common in games back then, like banter in a video game. And it's almost like like how like Tarantino characters in the movie just sit at a dinner table and just talk about stuff, and and like for that to appear in a video game was something that I've never seen quite before. Also, like in an era when like a lot of games were kind of pushing towards more cinematic, like pre-rendered cinematic cutscenes. The real-time rendered cutscenes within Metal Gear was kind of a bit of an odd decision at the time, which I think in hindsight a very successful one at that. Being able to completely keep you in action and just create just some of video game's best moments. The gameplay is absolutely the crown jewel of the game, however, and then it crowned the series. Metal Gear Solid really set the standard for what a stealth game is supposed to be, and pioneered a lot of the mechanics that goes along with it. There are so many things in the first Metal Gear Solid that is just now industry staples are probably amongst the best video game moments of all time. Probably the boss designs is the standout things that a lot of people mention, like with the Psycho Mantis playthrough, Vulcan Raven, Ocelot. Like every boss combat was such a unique experience, and that was just like unlike anything I've played at the time. I love the humor in the game and how it frequently broke the fourth wall multiple times in a game. That was like just almost unheard of back then. From like asking you to look at the back of the CD cover to find the number to like Psycho Mantis reading the games on your memory card. It had so many like standout moments that I think are staple in game design, and yeah, like it's almost legendary of sorts. To the point that it's impossible to think video games without thinking of this game. Metal Gear Solid is a fantastic video game that I think stands the test of time, and it's my number 6 favorite video game of all time. I'll be coming back at you with more games as Ramadan continues, but for the time being, Ramadan Mubarak and salam.